Okay, so the last time we were together, we looked at interviews and we went up to preparation for the interview by interviewee, where we looked at preparation before the interview and preparation during the interview. So today we begin by looking at preparation by the interviewer. Preparation by interviewer. Preparation by the interviewer. Right, the preparation by the interviewer. The preparation by the interviewer is also referred to as techniques for effective interviews. Techniques for effective interview. It involves the following. It involves the following. Number one, the praise of the interview should be silent. The praise of the interview should be silent. Should be silent with enough right and air. Praise of the interview should be silent with enough right and air. Point number two, the interviewer should create a rapport. Should create a rapport with the candidate. Point number three, try to engage a small talk at first. Try to engage a small talk at first with the candidate. With the candidate. Number four, ask open-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions. And avoid closed questions. And avoid closed questions as much as possible. And avoid closed questions as much as possible. Number five, provide enough time to the interviewee. Provide enough time to the interviewee for answering the questions. For answering the questions. Verse 6, list down relevant questions. List down relevant questions. list down relevant questions. Number 7, review the resume thoroughly. Review the resume. Review the resume thoroughly. Other point is ensure there is astute observation. Ensure that there is astute observation. There is astute observation. And the last one is do a forward. Do a forward. Do a forward. Okay, then down there you write that an effective interview can be seen as a 4-part event. Can be seen as a 4-part event. 4-part event characterized by acronym. Characterized by acronym WASP. Acronym WASP as follows. So W means welcome. Welcome. We say this involves greetings, introductions. Both greetings and introductions. A means ask. Ask. And write that this is the process of asking questions. The process of asking questions. Process of asking questions. S, we have supply. Right? This is the process. This is the process of finding full and honest responses. Full and honest response. B, party. This is adding. This is adding the interactions. Adding the interactions on a positive and cordial note. So that is how you are supposed to handle interviews. If you are the one doing the interviews, if you are the interviewer, we are saying number 1, you must ensure that the place is quiet. There is enough light. and there is enough air. It should not be in darkness. It should not be a place that is congested. There is no circulation. Then we are saying you should ensure that there is a good rapport between you and a candidate. So don't create a tense environment. Ensure that because ordinarily the candidate will come in an anxious manner. They will be fearing what will happen. So make sure you surprise their emotions. Make sure that the environment becomes calm. The other thing is that engage the candidate in a small talk. How was your journey to this place? How is life out there? Kwenu mvua iko ama ni jua kali? Hii economy inawapeleka namna gani? Hii bottom up. Engage them in a small talk that will ease the tension that is there. Then you should make sure that you ask open-ended questions. Like when you say, tell us about yourself. Now that is an open-ended question. A person can choose what to say. But when you tell us, what is your name? Now, my name is just George Kimani, full stop. So you should be more of giving open-ended questions. The other thing is that ensure you give the candidate time to answer the questions. Ask them, are you through with answering? But don't pump them with questions. Akijaribu kujibu hii, another one. Akijaribu hata kabla haja explain, another one. You confuse the candidate, and that is not right. The other thing is that you should ensure that you list the relevant questions. They should be put in place. Don't go to the interview to ask questions out of your head. Let them be listed somewhere so that you are able to stick on the point. You do not deviate. The other thing is make sure you review the resume thoroughly. Look at the qualifications. Look at what the candidate has written on that CV. And that will help you. The other thing is ensure that you do a follow-up. You do a follow-up and make sure that there is what? Effective observation. Now, the whole process of interview can be summarized into 4 words or 4 actions. There is the issue of welcoming someone. There's the issue of asking questions. There's the issue of the person giving you the answers. And there is the issue of parting. We come to the end of that. So let's now look at our past papers. Let's look at the past papers. If you look at your past papers, November 2019, question 6. November 2019. Question 6C. It is asking, analyze 4 techniques for effective interviewing. So when we talk about 4 techniques of effective interviewing, there are those 8 things that we have said there. Ensure that you have a place that is well lit, all those kind of things. Then November 2018, question 5B. November 2018, question 5B. November 2018, question 5B. Suggest 8 measures that an interviewer should take to ensure the success of an interview. Is on page 14. Suggests 8 measures that an interviewer should take to ensure the success of an interview. So I think I've given you 9. I've given you 9 steps that you can take, which we are saying they are also known as techniques. So I think that is all. Okay, then from there, let's look at need for recruitment. Need for recruitment. Need for recruitment. Need for recruitment, and we write that recruitment for new staff. Recruitment for new staff is brought about by very many reasons. Is brought about by very many reasons. Brought about by very many reasons. But the most common are, number one, death. Number two, resignation. Number three, desertation, from the word desert, desertation. Number four, expansion of the job. Number expansion of the job. Retirement, another one. Promotion. Firing, etc. So what we are saying, in any time in an organization, there will always be need to recruit new people. And the reasons are very, very many. But our agenda here is not to look at all those. But we are saying someone could die and we want to replace them. Or someone can even become sick, terminal sickness, and they are not able to work. We need to replace them. Someone could be fired and we need to replace them. Someone could be promoted and we need someone to replace that position. Someone could retire and we need someone to. So there are so many reasons as to why we may require to recruit. Good. Let's look at challenges in interviews. Challenges in interviews. Let's start with interviewer. Number one, asking the wrong questions. Number two, biasness. Number three, interview fatigue. Another one is inconsistency between candidates. Another one is lack of preparation. Another one is lack of follow-up. So those are some of the challenges that you find if you happen to be the interviewer, or when you're looking at the interviewer. There is the aspect of asking the wrong questions. You find that you have asked the wrong questions. Yeah. The other thing is biasness. You could be biased. You find that for whatever reasons, you have either loved someone or you have hated someone. And now you are there exercising that. The issue of fatigue, you could be tired. I remember the other day we had interviews and we sat from 9 all the way to 4. So by the time you are seeing the last 2-3 candidates, you're already tired. And you see now, that is unfair to the candidates because you're not giving them a lot of attention. You're not giving them a fair evaluation. Yeah. It can either be good for them or worse for them. Because chances are in the morning when you are not tired, mulikalia huyo wa kwanza kabisa, mlimgrill. But now that you are already tired, huyu mnapitia juu ukipita ukisonga, mnauliza atamaliza time atoke saa ngapi. So it can either work for you or against you. Yeah, which is not good. The other thing is the inconsistencies between candidates, and even at times the inconsistency of the candidate himself. Anasema hii, anasema hii, anasema hii, anasema hii. The other thing is about lack of preparation. You may not have found enough time to prepare. Yeah. And the other one is lack of follow-up. Let's now look at interviewee. Interviewee. If it is the interviewee, the candidate, what are the challenges that you can easily find yourself in? Interviewee. One is pre-interview jitters. Pre-interview jitters. Pre-interview jitters. Number 2, not knowing what to wear. Not knowing what to wear. Not knowing what to wear. Another one, difficult yet simple questions. E.g., tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself. Another one is being asked. Being asked whether you have any question. Any question for the interviewer. Being asked whether you have any question for the interviewer. Another one, thoughts after the interview. Thoughts after the interview. Thoughts after the interview. So we are saying if you happen to be the candidate, you will find that when you receive a call that you can attend this interview on this day, there will always be those jitters. Hiyo kushtuka, kushangaa how it will turn out to be. Again, you don't know how to wear. Unavaa hii, unatoa. Unavaa hii, unajaribu, it becomes a bother. The other thing is you go to the interview and they ask you a simple question, but very difficult. For example, when they tell you, tell us about yourself. Now, what do you say about that? What do you say about yourself? Do you start saying from where you are born all the way to where you are? That's a lot of stories. Hiyo miaka yote umekaa ukiambiwa na mtu useme about it, it can take you too long to say about it. Or when they tell you what is your weakness, that's something I've found very many candidates not being able to answer. Compared with tell us why we should hire you, but ukiulizwa your weakness, why we should not hire you, it's a very difficult question, but it appears what simple. Being asked whether you have any question for the interviewer, we have taken you through the interview, or they have taken you through the interview. Then they tell you, do you have any question for us? That's difficult. What do you ask them? The other thing is, don't start the interview. When you have read that, we call it cognitive dissonance. It is where now you start saying, I wish especially when you feel like you have messed up. That those dots can be really challenging. and also when you know that you really wanted that. Now, later on your own, you shall look at pilot paper of December 2021, question 6B. December 2021, question 6B. You can look at that. The next thing that we need to look at, qualities of a good interviewer. 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 Number one, knowledge about the job. Knowledge about the job. Number two, training and experience about interviews. Training and experience about interviews. Another one is active listening skills. Active listening skills. Another one is emotional maturity. Emotional maturity. Another one is empathic attitude. Empathic attitude. Empathic attitude. Another one is ability to recognize uniqueness. Ability to recognize uniqueness. Ability to recognize uniqueness. Another one is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Another one is an engaging personality. An engaging personality. Another one is ability to read body language. Ability to read body language. Yeah, so those are the characters that we want to see in someone who is doing the interviews. One, the person must be fully aware about the job that they're interviewing you. They should be experts. Actually, what happens when we have a panel interview, we should have at least one person who is an expert, who will ask technical questions about the job. The other thing is that the persons who are doing the interview, they should be well trained. They should have a lot of experience when it comes to interviews. The other thing is there should be emotional maturity and stability. Don't be a person who is easily offended or someone who is easily carried away. You know, someone can do something bad, ukasirike, uanze ku outburst, ama mtu akuje tu akusmailie and you become taken away by your emotions and you start even showing it. We should have someone who is emotionally stable. You should be empathic. Empathy means you are able to fit into the shoes of that person. You can be able to see from, try to understand their view of things and the way they are arguing. You should be able to recognize uniqueness, that this candidate is unique from this because of this. You should be able to be aware of yourself, self-awareness. There should also be an engaging personality. When people look at you, are they really willing to engage you more and more? And are you able to read and interpret body language? Now, later on again, you shall look at November 2017, question 7B. November 2017, question 7B. November 2017, question 7B. November 2017, question 7B. Now, let's move on to look at something else called persuasive communication. Persuasive communication. Persuasive communication. Persuasive communication, and we write this. All communication is persuasive. All communication is persuasive. To the extent it attempts. To the extent it attempts to influence behavior and thinking. To the extent it attempts to influence behavior and thinking. First of all, a message is considered persuasive. A message is considered persuasive when its primary objective is, a message is considered persuasive when its primary objective is to sell a product, a service, an idea, or a cause of action. Cause of action, when the reader may ignore, or resist the message. When the reader may ignore or resist the message. First, the most successful persuasive message, is the one that offers the audience. Real benefits. Or other helpful information. So we are saying that any communication that we do can be said to be persuasive because it attempts to change our thinking, it attempts to change our behavior. That's what we mean by a persuasive communication. And we are saying any communication is persuasive as long as it is seeking to sell an idea or it is seeking to cause an action. Where if the message is just left in its normal way, the reader can ignore it or can resist. So we want to make it in a way that the reader will not ignore, the reader will not resist the message, but he will be persuaded, he will be convinced to either take action or buy the product. And we are saying the most successful message is the message that offers solutions, this message that offers real benefits to the user. Okay, let's look at principles of persuasive communication. Principles of persuasive communication. Principles of persuasive communications. One is reciprocity. 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 And you see, this is the expectation. This is the expectation for the exchange of services. Expectation for the exchange of services or value mutually. Exchange of services or value mutually. Services or value mutually. Number two, scarcity. 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 And we write that people are usually attracted. People are usually attracted to something rare and exclusive. Usually attracted to something rare and exclusive. Number three, authority. 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 And write that reference to experts and expertise. Reference to experts and expertise. And expertise gives the message credibility. Gives the message credibility and supports decision making. Credibility and supports decision making. Number four is consensus. Consensus. Consensus, and right. The message should create a hard input. The message should create a hard mentality. A hard mentality. Since people look at each other while making a decision. Since people look at each other while making a decision. Number five is liking. Liking. Right, that people are drawn to people who like them. People are drawn to people who like them. Are drawn to people who like them and communicate to them. Like them and communicate to them. So let's look at April 2022. April 2022, question 1C. April 2022, question 1C. It is saying, with relevant examples, analyze 5 characteristics of a good sales speech. A good sales speech. Now, you go to sell, or rather, for you to sell, you must persuade people. And we are saying, when you are making a speech to persuade people, make sure there is reciprocity, that there will be expectation that we will exchange at the end. I've given you this idea, so I expect you to buy from me. Ensure there is scarcity. A speech should not be too long and should not be very frequent. While I know marketers will say that people buy when they have 21 market hits. 21 market hits means that for you to be convinced to buy something, you must have heard about that thing for more than 21 times. Then there is the issue of authority. When you start and say, I am George Kimani, these are my qualifications, these are my experiences. Now people know that whoever is talking to us is a person of authority. It gives the message credibility. The other one is consensus. Do a message that seeks to put people together as a herd, a group of cows in quote. You know, when sheep and cows are moving, they move towards the same direction. So people are the same. When you see people are moving towards this direction, you also move because you think that is the right direction quite often. The other thing is that there should be a liking. Ensure that you are portraying yourself as a person who likes these people, as a person who is ready to communicate to these people, and this will be very good. The next thing is objectives of persuasive communication. Objectives of persuasive communication. Objectives of persuasive communication. What are the objectives? 1, stimulate. Stimulate. And we explain that this is to strengthen the beliefs, interests of the audience, and bring them to action. Number 2 is convince. This is to bring change. Attitudes, judgments and values. Judgments and values of the audience. Number 3 is call to action. Call to action. This is about creating curiosity. Solving a problem. Or proposing a set of solutions. Number 4 is charisma. This is being seen as a brand. this is being seen as a brand or as an extraordinary personality. Brand or an extraordinary personality. Number 5 is make existing attitudes. Make existing attitudes more resistant to change. More resistant to change. The last one is allow individuals to make independent decisions. Allow individuals to make independent decisions in a well-informed environment. In a well-informed environment. In a well-informed environment. So we take a break at that point so that Fatma, you can make prayers, or it's not your time?
It is.
Okay, so 10 minutes, so by 7:10 we'll be back. Thank you. Everything is now variable. Actually, Michelle, you see something called well, I can find the old you are getting like the short maybe only value one. This is explained by the concept of the law. How many experience in this constant the farm is experiencing increasing pounds. Still, cost is increased all the time. The volume is as well as we have to be practical. Very fast and very shady, simply consumption and using scale as a result of economies and economies the maximum income Okay, so we continue. Let's now look at approaches to techniques of persuasion. Approaches to techniques of persuasion. Approach or techniques of persuasion. Approaches or techniques of persuasion. Fatuma, we are saying approaches stroke techniques of persuasion. Approaches stroke techniques of persuasion. Number one, appeal to the individual. Appeal to the individual. Appeal to the individual. And we explain some points. This is about using a second person's point of view. A second person's point of view. First of all, it makes the message feel more personal. It makes the message feel more personal and direct. It makes the message feel more personal and direct. It helps to empathize. It helps to empathize. empathize with the audience. With the audience by creating a relatable content. Relatable. By creating a relatable content to them. By creating a relatable content to them. Yeah, so that is what you're calling appealing to the individual. You try to talk to them. You put yourself in their shoes, and therefore the message appears more personal, and it relates to them. Number two, establish authority. Establish authority. Establish authority. Establish authority and write that this is explaining to the audience. This is explaining to the audience why you are a trustworthy source for information. This is explaining to the audience why you are a trustworthy source for the information. First of all, it involves detailing your trainings. It involves detailing your trainings and experience. Detailing your trainings and experience. So that is how you create the authority. You tell them, mimi nimesoma mpaka hapa, niko na experience ya these years. So that's called establishing authority. Number three, generate anticipation. Generate anticipation. Generate anticipation. And write that this involves keeping attention of the audience after getting it. This involves keeping attention of the audience after getting it. First of all, it is usually done by creating suspense. It's usually done by creating suspense. Yeah, so you create suspense and people keep on anticipating what next, what next, what next. The other one is address objectives or rather objections. Address objections. Address objections early. And write that this is about identifying possible objections. This is about identifying possible objections and addressing them right away. Possible objections and addressing them right away. First of all, it is called the even-if method. It is called the even-if method. It is called the even-if method. So this one is where you already suspect that people are likely to resist your message. They already maybe have an alternative. So you tell them, even if you already have bought this other product, there is this one. Even if you were told about this, now I want to tell you this. So you already have identified the objection and you have dealt with it. So even the audience now, they know that they are aware they could resist. So they will give you an opportunity. But if you assume that objection is not there, then they will be saying, well, okay, but since you already have what? An alternative. Yeah. The other one is called foot in the door. Foot in the door. Foot in the door. And right, this is about obtaining. This is about obtaining a person's compliance. A person's compliance with a small request at first. A person's compliance with a small request at first, in order to later increase, chances of compliance. Chances of compliance with a subsequent large request. With a subsequent large request. Large requests. So here we are talking of you start small. You win this person with a small thing. Then when they have used the small thing, then you hope that later on they will be able to buy the big thing. It's like what they call the free sample. Even in a class like this one, we normally do it. When the student makes an inquiry about our classes, tunamrushia link and join the first one for free. So when they enjoy that, now when you are telling them now you can pay to enjoy the whole semester, that is called foot in the door. The other one is door in the face. Door in the face. Door in the face. This is obtaining compliance. This is obtaining compliance with a bigger request at first. This is obtaining compliance with a bigger request at first. In order to subsequently reduce. In order to subsequently reduce the probability of the person's compliance. Use the probability of the person's compliance with a subsequent smaller request. With a subsequent smaller request. Smaller request. So that has to do with first of all, you give a big request. And that now you hope that the person will not create a lot of demand for the smaller one. Like when a student joins a class like this one, and or they are inquiring about us, and they are saying, can you first of all give me a recording? And you tell them, no, first of all, pay the full fee. Then mambo ya recording, mambo ya notes tutaangalia baadaye. So the fee is the big picture. But later on about the notes, about the recording, those are small things that we can deal with later on. Number 7 is create a perception of popularity. Create a perception of popularity. Create a perception of popularity. And write that people are more receptive to an idea. People are more receptive to an idea or a product if they feel that everyone else believes in it. If they feel that everyone else believes in it. First of all. The aim is to appeal to the person's desire. The aim is to appeal to the person's desire to conform to a group. Person's desire conform to a group. You know, like we said there a while ago, people want to follow a herd. Tumesema herd mentality. Ng'ombe zikuwa mingi pamoja. So when you see an idea is very popular, it's trending, kila mtu anaongea about it, even you want to be part of it. That's why you find politicians, when they go for meetings, they will want the media to cover the place where there were so many people that even you cannot count. So ukionyeshwa huu politician wenye mkutano yake ilikuwa na watu wengi, you feel like that is also where I want to be, compared to ile unaonyeshwa haikuwa na watu wengi. So when you are advertising or when you are persuading, it is good to let the person listening to you that there are others who are buying the idea. There are others who want it. Actually, I normally find it with marketers. When you want to buy a pen like this, and I wanted to sell to you today, but wewe unaniambia wacha nitaikujia kesho. Na mimi sitaki ukujie kesho, nilikuwa nataka uchukue leo. So I will tell you ni sawa, kesho utakuja. However, kuna Njoroge alikuwa ameniambia naweza kuja saa 2 ya usiku, hata kuna Jane alikuwa ameniambia saa 3 anaweza pata pesa. So ukipata Njoroge na Jane hawaje kuja sawa. So I'm just showing you kuna watu wengine wako na interest. And because hata wewe unataka kuonyesha hiyo interest, then I corner you and you say wacha nitafute pesa saa hii kabla Njoroge na Jane wakuje wakachukua. Yeah. So how Njoroge na Jane wanakuanga non-existent. Hawako, lakini ukiambiwa kuna wengine wanaitaka, it makes you to shift your decision from tomorrow to now. Haya, the next one is implies scarcity. Number 8, implies scarcity. Implies scarcity. Deny that limited availability can influence people. Limited availability can influence people to act quickly. Limited availability can influence people to act quickly. First of all, it creates a sense of urgency. It creates a sense of urgency. Is what you hear in marketing when they say hurry while stocks lasts. And they have to create an element of scarcity. But you may go there and find wako na mizigo mingi, but they're trying to tell you that it is scarce. If you don't come quickly, hautapata. Another one is start large. Number 9 is start large. Start large. And write that begin with a request. Begin with a request that you know it is unreasonable. That you know that it is unreasonable. And then make it more receptive. And then make it more receptive to the original smaller requests. The original smaller requests. Original smaller requests. So what you're saying is you start with a very big order that you think it may not work. Actually, it cannot work. But now you narrow down, and you tell them something small. Yeah. Tell them, with 5 million you can get it. But you know this guy cannot even raise 100,000. But you're talking of 5 million. Then lakini kama huna hiyo, with 20,000 you can take it. So you now come down from 5 million to 20,000. Okay. NB. So those are the techniques. NB, and write that persuasive messages. Persuasive messages. Persuasive messages should have the following elements or components. Should have the following elements or components. One is ethos. Another one is credibility. Another one is passion. Passion or enthusiasm. Another one is logic and reasoning. Logic and reasoning. Logic and reasoning. So when you are designing a persuasive message, ensure that it has ethos. Ethos means ethics. Ensure that it is portraying good manners. I told you the other day there was a message for advert that ilikuwa inasema toa nguo na kuja. You see that? Toa nguo na kuja. Haukuona hiyo advert? Yeah, those are online. Tekra, did you see that advert? It was there last year. Tekra?
Yes.
Did you see this advert? Ilikuwa inasema toa nguo na kuja.
Yes.
Good. Fatima, did you see it?
No.
Okay. So now that you may honor, do you think it's suggesting something? People are quick to think of something bad. Yeah, people are quick, and I saw people raising concerns. But the advert was about detergents. So it's a detergent that is talking. Toa nguo na kuja kuziosha. But sasa mambo ya detergent ilikuwa inawekwa hapa chini. But hii ndio ilikuwa toa nguo na kuja. So ikiwekwa hivyo it attracts attention and people want to go in nani wewe anasema toa nguo na kuja. Only to find it about what? A detergent. Yeah. So when you're making adverts, you must, and I think it did not go far. I don't think it lasted for 2 weeks. There was an uproar. People now started wondering, where mnasema mambo gani? This is not according to our culture. So it must ensure that there is ethos. That will make it to be credible, to be acceptable. It should create passion or a desire, and there should be logic. It should create some logic and some reason. Good. Let's finally look at structure of a persuasive message. Structure of a persuasive message. Structure of a persuasive message. One, attention statement. Attention statement. Attention statement. And we explain. This is meant to hook. This is meant to hook the listener. This is meant to hook the listener. Full stop. It uses humor. It uses humor. Unusual facts. Unusual facts. And surprising questions. And surprising questions. Kama hiyo nimesema tu sahihi. That was attention what? Statement to get the attention. It is a surprising question. Ukiona tu hivyo unashangaa, what are they saying? So it gets your attention. Number two, the second part of a persuasive message is called introduction. 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 This is meant to build interest. This is meant to build interest. Build interest by creating an appeal. This is meant to build interest by creating an appeal to audience. by creating an appeal to audience to be attentive. And showing them the need for them to listen. And showing them the need for them to listen by clearly outlining viable expectations. By clearly outlining viable expectations. Viable expectations. So this is where you tell people what is it that you're expecting to happen, what is it that they will get in your advert or in your message, and you make them to be more attentive to your speech. Number 3 is explanation. Number 3 is explanation. Explanation. And we say that this is meant to establish credibility. This is meant to establish credibility. It's meant to establish credibility and build a good relationship with the audience. And build a good relationship with the audience. So it is done through creating a discussion. It is done through creating a discussion with the audience. Creating a discussion with the audience. And providing answers to their questions. And providing answers to their questions. So that is what we call explanation. So you are building the content, you are really telling them what it's all about. They are asking questions, you are answering questions, you are asking them, they are answering. So there is that engagement. It is seeking to really make the message sink in the minds of these people. And finally, number 4, there is call to action. Call to action. Call to action. And write that this is summing it up. This is summing it up and offering solution. And offering solution steps. And offering solution steps. That is what the audience need to do. What the audience need to do to have their problems solved. What the audience need to do to have their problems solved. First up, it involves motivating the audience. It involves motivating the audience to take the next step of solution. Motivating the audience to take the next step of solution. First up, it should be done clearly. Or it should state clearly. It should state clearly. It should state clearly why the action should be taken. It should state clearly why the action should be taken, how it should be done, how it should be done, and when it should be done. And when it should be done. So basically, that is what we call to action. Is simply now inviting people to start doing what they should do. So that is all that I meant to get for us today. So we call it a day at that point and pick up from there in our next lesson. Thank you so much.